Lovely weekend.
You too.
Yes, the time now is 9:48. In the past week, 3 cyclists have been killed in the space of 4 days on London's roads. This morning, campaigners are gathering to demand ministers make cycling safer.
But figures nationally show that could already be the case, with a number of cycling deaths going down over the past decade. Well, our reporter, Holly Hamilton, is in Trafalgar Square for us this morning. Morning, Holly.
Good morning, Steph. Yes, that's right. It does seem that more people than ever are taking to the roads on 2 wheels. In fact, in the past 2 decades, the number of cyclists has actually gone up by more than a quarter. So with that, obviously, there have been plenty of road safety initiatives that have been put in place by the government. And as you've mentioned, that does seem to be working. In the past 10 years, the number of road deaths has been going down. But sadly, those 3 deaths, 3 in 1 week here in London, has prompted a huge reaction from campaigners who are asking for more investment in infrastructure, and will be holding that protest here in Trafalgar Square later this afternoon. One of those taking part joins me now. Hi. Good morning to you, Ruth and Baby Owen, I should mention. Thank you for joining us this morning. You're quite an experienced cyclist. You cycle through the streets of London with Baby Owen. What is it like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I do. I've been cycling in London every day for over 15 years now. So yeah, I'm pretty experienced. I ride. We don't have a car, so this is my car equivalent, and I've got 3 children, and we go everywhere by bike because I find it the quickest and most convenient. Both me and my husband work quite long hours, and it's actually the only way that we can get from A to B in London in the time that we need to, and get the children to school and nursery. My overwhelming experience is positive, particularly with a bike like this. I get lots of positive feedback from people, but lots of people stop me to say they think it's great, but they just feel too scared to cycle. And I think ultimately that's what we have to work on. It's tragic that we've had deaths this week, and it's much better that the death rate overall is improving, but until people actually feel safe, which I'm afraid most people wouldn't feel safe cycling alongside a bus or an HGV with a baby, and I totally sympathise with those people, and I can see why. And so we just need to be concentrating on separating bicycles from HGVs and buses, and just keeping them separate.
And what are you hoping to achieve out of this protest that you'll be attending this afternoon?
Yeah. So we're asking for what actually I think is a pretty modest request, which is 10% of the transport budget by 2020 to be allocated for protected cycling and walking infrastructure, which, given that virtually all of us will walk or cycle at some point in our lives, feels like not very much to ask for, but it's very far off where we are at the moment. And it's actually not particularly radical at all, given that the UN is calling for 20% by 2025. We've got thousands of people dying from air pollution related diseases, and also inactivity, type 2 diabetes and heart disease. I'm actually a doctor as well. So we can't afford not to have people walking and cycling, really, but we have to make it safer and more pleasant for people to do.
I think a lot of the campaigners who'll be out here this afternoon will agree with you. Know, one of the things that you mentioned, Ruth Anna, was the fact that HGVs are an issue for you. We're joined now by Rod Mackenzie, who's from the Road Haulage Association. Rod, one of those who died on the roads in London this week, it was an HGV that was involved. How serious is this issue?
Well, we don't know the circumstances, and 1 road death is 1 too many. We don't want any casualties on the roads. We're committed to road safety, and part of a driver's training, a HGV driver's training, is all about safety, protecting vulnerable road users. This stuff really matters. And you see lorries going around with 4 stickers on. That's a fleet operator recognition scheme, which is designed to produce the very best, safest training. But everyone's got a stake in this. All road users must play their part. And there are some great cyclists out there, but there's also some dangerous cycling, which brings cyclists into areas of risk. So we think it's about education. Everyone needs better training to be safer on Britain's roads.
Rob Mackenzie, thank you very much for joining us here on Breakfast this morning. I think the message from everyone here, everyone has the same goal. Everybody wants no deaths on our roads. It is also important to mention the Department of Transport has said that they are doing everything they can to increase the amount of investment on our infrastructure, and in fact it's tripled in the past 5 years. Now the event taking place here in Trafalgar Square, it is a protest, it's also a memorial to those who have died. As I said, everyone here is in agreement that one death is quite simply just one